Hey, welcome back to another episode here at EDUSPLORER. I want to thank you for watching. As the continent of Africa continues to make strategic choices, I'm focusing on the region in West Africa, the Alliance of the Sahelian states. They are living their own life after the economic community of West African states known as ECOWAS. ECOWAS has been a fundamental disgrace with regards to the way it handled the current situation in the Sahel, especially in Niger, with Nigeria making huge effort at the time to get into the country of Niger. Make no mistake, these countries are serious. No one took them seriously when they said they are tired of this colonial partnership that they have been in for centuries, that it wasn't working. But I think the regional organization failed to understand the fundamentals on what it takes to be in a long-term partnership with a colonized nation that has, to an extent, exploited these countries for years. I think Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, all of these countries, but looking at the Alliance of the Sahelian State, the AES, they have decided that it is about time to look within their own surrounding, to defend their territory, and to an extent look for economic opportunities where they could have an opportunity, looking at the new passport where they could travel around to try things differently.
Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger continue to adjust to life outside the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS. The three military-led countries, which last year formed their own Alliance of Sahel states, formally left the bloc last month. Among other reasons, they say they are better off handling their own security in a highly volatile region. The governments are already making moves to improve the security situation through the deployment of a joint force of 5,000 troops and the introduction of biometric passports. For many in the Burkinabe capital, Ouagadougou, the measures are welcome. Here's Sharon Baranga with more.
Burkina Faso's military leader, Ibrahim Traoré, was the first to receive a new biometric passport, marking what many believe is an exciting new era for the so-called Alliance of Sahel states, Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali. It's been widely seen as another step towards the economic integration of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, who recently pulled out of a major regional political and economic bloc. The leadership in the three countries believed they weren't getting enough benefits from the bloc and were better off forming a partnership that was designed for their own needs. In the Burkinabe capital, Ouagadougou, many can see the logic behind this decision.
Our logic of economic sovereignty has led us today to rely on our own capacities with the establishment of the Agency for the Promotion of Community Entrepreneurship, which has enabled the people to build factories and acquire mines. You can see many factories have been built and how many industrial mines have been acquired for our people. This has also led to support the President's Agricultural Production Initiative, and as you can see, our agricultural production has improved by 18%.
If you look at the strategic option, with the United States of America being kicked out from the country of Niger and Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali asking France's troops to leave, it is important that these countries are looking for other strategic partners who can provide them the alternative that they've been looking for the past century. The current relationship, as the citizens of this nation begin to understand why it is important for them to entangle themselves from this colonial partnership and a regional organization that lacks strategic thinking in terms of the current challenges. Makes no mistake, ECOWAS was built at a time where the current geopolitical shift that the world is observing today was not built for. Again, ECOWAS was not built and prepared for the recent changes and the swift geopolitical shift that we are currently experiencing in the continent of Africa. That's the reason why these countries felt it right. Now is the moment to start making strategic choices.
Security is among the biggest worries, with violent insurgencies threatening any efforts at economic growth and integration. To counter this threat, without the support of French forces who have now left, military leaders are planning to deploy thousands of troops in the central Sahel region. Once stability in the region is achieved, the leaders believe their alliance has the potential to become an economic force, since the region is also rich in natural resources.
We have structural changes taking place in agriculture, and I would also like to say in mining, because everything to do with mining was essentially the work of multinational companies, and the state was not sufficiently represented. In my view, these are resources that belong to us, and if they are exploited, they will be put in good use to build structures that can withstand the test of time and pave way for development. Right now, we are thinking in terms of energy, particularly renewable energy.
The Sahel is a very important part in the continent of Africa. Whatever happens in the Sahel will be fundamental in how the continent of Africa will shape its colonial partnership with its old partners. It is vital to note that Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali all face some incredible challenges in the region. That's why they moved swiftly to form a 5,000-strong man force to face the current challenges that they are facing. It is also important that they are looking for other partners, other French European partners that can work with them, Russia, China, and including Turkey. And don't forget, these countries never said they're not going to work with anyone. However, if the condescending communication and approach that we all saw from the United States to the country of Niger, if that is the way to go, then there's going to be a problem. It is important to know that Niger is the most important. I'm not saying Burkina Faso or Mali are not important, but the strategic belt of the Sahel is in the hands of Niger. Niger is a massive nation, and a number of times where Niger will go, the two other countries will go to. So they are beginning to pick up themselves, and more importantly, the citizens of these countries are buying to the ideas of their own visionary leaders, because they really want to tackle the problems and the challenges that they have had. To an extent, they have seen that their former colonizer, who has ruled to an extent economically, socially, politically, and a number of areas, has not lived up to the standards of what's going on around the world. They are looking at different partnerships. Consider the country of Chad. Despite all the challenges that it's gone through, it's beginning to look at itself. Like the president of Chad said, the current partnership with France does not fit the challenges that the country of Chad is facing. That's why they are moving swiftly to engage the Russians, engage the Chinese, who to an extent can provide them some economic relief in several areas.
The Alliance of Sahel States is also working on introducing a new regional currency and establishing an investment bank. A single intra-visa, which will enable citizens of the three countries to move freely, is also set to be introduced. Whether these changes can make a difference in a region long beset by security, economic and political issues remains to be seen.
African nations, to an extent, the regional organizations do not understand the internal politics that some of these countries were still entangled with their colonial powers. So that's why these countries are breaking away and taking another options, and to an extent, for the first time, the citizens of these nations are beginning to realize that they can win something from these particular breakaway issues. And ECOWAS does not sit well with regards to this decision. I think one very important thing is that the existence of ECOWAS, the credibility of ECOWAS as a regional organization, had been put to test. And if ECOWAS cannot, with the current existing members, figure out how to reorganize, to re-strategize, and to re-engage those partners, I think there's nothing wrong in the future for us to see something similar, where in this case will be that countries really want to form something new. We have seen all of these colonial organizations being formed where a number of countries, for example, the Francophonie, major backyard of France, countries like Togo and Gabon, left and went to join something different, and they wanted to try to see what's going to work, because the partnership over the centuries hasn't been based on a win-win partnership. It's been one-sided, It be based on condescending approach which does not actually work. And a number of these countries are looking at the development and growth in several countries around the world and in the region. And they felt that it is about time for them to taste the waters. And that's why the first step was them to break away from this regional organization and see what options that they have. With the current new passport, the building of the 5,000 troops, and other very important measures that they have taken, will give them a sense of belonging, and they're able to face the current challenges that the global geopolitical shift face. With the changes in Washington, considering the United States of America's failures in the country of Niger and the dismantling of the over $100 million drone base in the city of Aljazeera, sends a message that the United States of America, despite still willing to engage the continent of Africa, will not forget that particular embarrassment which it got from the country of Niger. That's the reason why these countries came together and sent a strong warning to the country of Nigeria that was at the time trying to claim that it could go into Niger to reinstate the former deposed leader. Africa are beginning to call the shot, and it's important to know that if what they are doing is right, we will find out. If what AES is doing is not correct, we're going to find out. Let me know what you think with regards to the measures and the steps as these countries that were former French colonies are beginning to re-engage themselves and also finding their own sense of purpose in the continent of Africa. For now, I will be looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Smash the like button and have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.
Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger continue to adjust to life outside the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The three military-led countries, which last year formed their own Alliance of Sahel States, formally left the bloc last month. Among other reasons, they say they are better off handling their own security in a highly volatile region. The governments are already making moves to improve the security situation through the deployment of a joint force of 5,000 troops and the introduction of biometric passports. For many in the Burkinabe capital, Ouagadougou, the measures are welcome. Here's Sharon Baranga with more.
Burkina Faso's military leader, Ibrahim Traore, was the first to receive a new biometric passport, marking what many believe is an exciting new era for the so-called Alliance of Sahel States, Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali. It's been widely seen as another step towards the economic integration of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, who recently pulled out of a major regional political and economic bloc. The leadership in the three countries believed they weren't getting enough benefits from the bloc and were better off forming a partnership that was designed for their own needs. In the Burkinabe capital, Ouagadougou, many can see the logic behind this decision.
Our logic of economic sovereignty has led us today to rely on our own capacities with the establishment of the Agency for the Promotion of Community Entrepreneurship, which has enabled the people to build factories and acquire mines. You can see many factories have been built and how many industrial mines have been acquired for our people. This has also led to support the President's agricultural production initiative, and as you can see, our agricultural production has improved by 18%.